Okay, so I'm just going to share a presentation with you. If you've got any questions during the presentation, feel free to add them into the chat and we'll answer them as we go along. So what can you expect as a student of culinary arts at West Suffolk College? You'll be taught by a highly passionate and exceptionally skilled team of industry specialists. You'll gain valuable experience in our training restaurants, which is AA accredited, which is a very high accolade. We're one of the few training colleges in the country that has an AA accredited restaurant. You'll get to practice your practical skills, whether that's front of house or in the kitchen, and you'll gain knowledge as well. Just go back to that. You'll work with various employers. We have lots of guest speakers and mentors that come in. We focus on your character strengths and make you as an employable as possible, as well as focusing on your skills. Okay, there's various different routes that you can go through. So from level 1 through all the way through to level 3, even on to higher education and full-time employment. Some people can come in at level 3 if they've got the right qualifications, but generally through the vocational route, it's VRQ level 1, VRQ level 2, and then you can focus on patisserie. We've got Edmonds. Feel free to have a look at our website. There's various menus and links on there. You can sort of see the foods. There's pictures of the food that we do and information. So Edmonds at wsc.ac.uk is the online link for that, and you're welcome to have a look around there. We do lots of, not at the moment due to COVID, but normally we do lots of outside events, sort of the cathedral, various different places like the Athenaeum, big open corporate events, sort of anywhere between 80 to 100 people. It's a very practical hands-on course. Most of our courses, you're going to spend the majority of the time, 60-70% doing practical, whether that's in the restaurant or in the kitchen, with theory sessions supporting it. If you haven't achieved your English or maths at GCSE by the time you come to meet us, then you'll carry on studying those alongside your vocational course. So this is me. So I've been here for 15 years, worked chef lecturer. This is Claire, who's joined us this evening, our operations manager who's in charge of the restaurant, as I said. There's Mrs. Flatman, who's in charge of our level 1. She's our Mother Earth character. She's very good with the students. Annie McGowan, who's course director for our level 3 front of house program. Mrs. Colt, who's our restaurant technician demonstrator, she supports the restaurant service on a day-to-day basis and runs the restaurant. Louise Dyer, who teaches 1 day of the week for us and is a mentor to teachers, and she supports the level 3 program. Chris Ward, who's our NVQ level 2 course director, and he is in charge of restaurant service 2 days of the week. And then there's Stuart Ascott, who is our kitchen manager or overall head chef, if you like, and he's responsible for the restaurants, for the kitchens, all 3 kitchens. And fantastic chef, great wealth of experience, a lot of skills that you can get from Stuart. And then Rob Reynolds, who's a very talented young man. He writes our menus for the lunch menu and evening menus, and is an inspiration to all our students. Originally was a level 3 student with us, and he was so good that we gave him a job.
Chef, we've got quite a few questions coming through now. Okay. Do you want me to let you carry on, and then
yeah, I'll just quickly finish off, and then we'll go over to the questions. Okay. Thank you. So Lauren Gregg, who's in charge of our level 1 VRQ, she's relatively new to our team, but an experienced chef, none the wiser. Paula, who looks after our students and our stalls and takes care of our food ordering and everything else. And there's Mrs. Jemison, who are laundry technician. So if you haven't brought your kit in for whatever reason, then she's the lady you need to make friends with. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. There is a YouTube link, so you can sort of see around the academy. I will add that to the group chat for you to have a look at. And we'll go over to the questions now. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Unshare.
Okay, so first question is, what are the entry requirements? I'll hand over to Matt.
Okay, so the entry requirements. So if you're going on to level 1, we've got 2 routes for the level 1 program for the catering and the VRQ. We'd expect you to have at least a C, which is the equivalent of 4 in maths or English, either maths or English, so you go straight onto the VRQ1. Most of our courses, if you're going to go down the vocational route, you'll need to start at level 1. For our front of house level 3 course, you have to have at least 4 GCSEs at 4 and above, and those featuring maths and English, because it's quite a heavily academic course. Hopefully you would have done GCSE catering or GCSE food tech, and we'd be looking for a good strong pass in that as well. Hopefully that answers that question.
A chef, for a level 1 certificate level, though, they wouldn't need a GCSE
they don't need any
requirement.
And we support them through their maths and English. So on a Monday, as it stands at the moment, you would do your maths and English on a Monday, and then Tuesday to Friday you'd be doing your vocational course. So all of our students have to continue doing maths and English until they've hit that 4 in those subjects.
You can try functional skill. There's different pathways, so yeah, you don't have to have the full GCSEs. We can assist you alongside that. Okay, I hope that answers the question. Okay, next question is, with COVID at the moment, how much of the course is practical?
Okay, well, lockdown currently, we're managing to do online videos. We've actually set up our own YouTube channel where the chefs are cooking in the kitchen at college and demonstrating dishes. We are sending out recipes and tasks on a weekly basis where students are cooking at home and then uploading and sending us the pictures. For example, my level 1s, they had a canopy challenge, so they had to make little individual canopy bite-sized things, and I've had some fantastic photos in the last week. Hopefully once we go back, then it's fully practical. So we still manage to do practice classes, we still are doing production, even though the restaurant wasn't open to the public straight away. We still managed to do takeaway service and an express service, which was open to our internal customers as well.
I think Harry and Kim will be able to vouch that you still, although you know it has been affected, you can vouch for the fact that we've definitely tried to keep that practical element very much embedded in what you've been studying this year. Would you agree?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, good. What's been the best thing, Harry, that you've enjoyed in terms of the practical element?
I personally, I just love being in the restaurant, just having a chat with the customers. I'm a very talkative person. I like to just have a chat.
Okay, and you, Kim?
I think it was life going back to normal for a little bit.
Yeah, you enjoyed that normality of kind of getting the restaurant, like we worked really hard together as a team to get the restaurant back up and running, and risk assessments and making sure we were COVID compliant, both educationally and industry, which was a big task to get the students back in and get their practical skills. And yeah, we've had customers in, we've had dinners, it's been done in a slightly different way, but yeah, we've definitely had those practical skills going ahead. So yeah, okay.
Okay, so on to the next question, which how is the course assessed? There's a range of different assessment methods. A lot of it is observation when it comes to practicals. So if you're working in the restaurant, it'll be through observation, seeing that you're serving the customers, meeting and greeting, answering the phone correctly, taking food orders, that sort of thing. For the kitchen side of assessment, there's a couple of different routes. There's one where it's end tested, end unit tested, so where they have a set date. They have to provide a set dish or a couple of dishes within a time frame, a bit like a GCSE food tech exam, and then that's spread out. There's small practicals throughout the year, and it's graded pass, merit and distinction for those. That's the VRQ level course. For the NVQ, it's slightly different. Whenever you're in the kitchen, you produce a dish for the restaurant or for sale, whether that's for takeaway service or for the staff to buy, and you're assessed on that dish, and that will go in. You'll build up a logbook of information, sort of a evidence portfolio of all the photos and all the dishes that you've made. Hopefully, and with the theory side of things, there's a range. There's short answer questions, there's end tests, there's multiple choice papers, and for the sort of students that maybe have struggled at GCSE, there's for the catering certificates, they have to produce things like leaflets and PowerPoints and things like that, and posters.
And there's lots of additional support there, isn't there, Matt, in terms of the infrastructure for whatever level you are at. There's support there to assist you with your learning, so don't be intimidated. There is that option there.
Yeah, we cater for a massive range of learners. Yeah. We have learners that are sort of A-level standard students that come in with a massive range of GCSEs. We get students that need additional learning support, and we have LSAs in class with those students for theory and sometimes in the practical areas as well.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Will there be an opportunity to complete work experience?
Yes, all our students have to complete at least 40 hours work experience. Now, the form of that at the moment has changed a little bit, but historically we've got fantastic relationships, as Claire will vouch, with local industry, businesses, restaurants. They're always keen to work with us. We've got a really good reputation, so that a lot of our students will go and work in the local industry, and then often off the back of those work experience placements we offered employment as well. So yes, you will be doing work experience as long as COVID allows, and hopefully with the vaccine coming out, that we will see the end of COVID and go back to some sort of sense of normality shortly. Okay.
Yeah, ordinarily though, a lot of our work experience opportunities happen, and we work very closely with so many industry experts that naturally a job occurs, or if you're in assistance for finding work, that's something we can definitely help you with. It naturally tends to happen during your course, but it's something that if that's something that you're interested in, we've got those doors that we can open out to industry, definitely.
Yeah, we often, if you think about it, we're all industry specialists, so we've all come from industry. We are still working in industry. I myself still take part in quite a lot of outside catering things when COVID allowing, and so we have various people that come to us and say, right, I've got a job going, or a part-time Saturday job. Have you got a student in mind, or is there someone on your level 3 course, level 2 course that you know is after some part-time work? So we have those links, industry links, which really help, which leads quite nicely onto the next question, which was, can you support me in finding work experience? So yes, absolutely. We've actually got a member of the team, Andy McGowan, who that's his primary role, is making sure that the right student is going to the right restaurant or whatever it might be, pub, cafe, bar, whatever it might be, making sure that work placement fits that student and what that student's needs are, so that they don't end up going to somewhere that is not going to benefit them, or is whatever that relationship is going to be with that work placement, it's going to benefit their career and their advancement.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely get you industry ready is what I'll say in our academy. Definitely.
Yeah, do indeed. Do you have to come for an interview? So if you apply online for a course, so choose the right level of course that you think is appropriate for you, then you'll be given an interview date, and you'll have the course director, the way it's working at the moment, the course director will ring you on that date. So you'll be given a time anywhere between the course director will ring you between 4 and 5 o'clock on this day. They'll give you a phone call. They'll ask you various questions and go through a interview form with you, ask about maybe previous experience, or what your interest is in the industry, or where you see yourself, or what it is that you want to do with it. And then we'll ask you what your expected GCSEs are as well, and have an opportunity to meet that course director for the programme. On the back of that, normally after the interview, they'll let you know whether you're successful for that place. So if you've applied for a level 2 or level 1 course, after the interview they'll be able to say, yes, I'm willing to accept you onto my course. You'll get a letter or an email within several weeks saying that yes, you've got a place on that course. If the course for whatever reason isn't quite right for you, then they won't just turn you away. They'll find a course that is appropriate for you. It might be that you haven't quite got the GCSEs, or you haven't quite got the practical experience that you think you need for that level, and we'll find the right course that fits you. So that's how the interview process works.
Okay, next question, Matt, is can I change my pathway once I have started?
Yeah, absolutely. I think hospitality, yeah, I know at the moment with COVID it's not great, but hospitality is a great industry to go in. If you want to fund your way through university long term, you get a lot of people that end up working in bars, restaurants, pubs, in kitchens, wherever it might be. There will always be a job out in industry. Everyone goes out to eat, and the way that life gets more busy, more people go out and eat more often. I know COVID's sort of scuppered that a little bit, but people are still adapting, and you'll find now more than ever before, you can order pretty much anything to be delivered to your home, restaurant quality, pizza, tapas, kebab, doesn't matter. And so people have to eat. So it's an industry that you'll always find employment. You don't know what you're letting yourself into until you do something. So you might find 2-3 weeks into the course that actually it's not what you expected it to be. Hopefully you'll be enjoying it by then, and you might see a different course alongside it. Go, actually I prefer doing front of house, or actually I want to focus purely on patisserie. So we'll find the right course for you, and there's no reason why you can't look at once you're at college, half the battle is adapting to college life and going from school and coming to college. So once you're at college, if you suddenly decide, actually, I've got a real passion for music, tech, art and design, hair and beauty, we can certainly sort you out with an interview for that course. So once you've started with us, it's not the be all and end all. You've got sort of 6 weeks, if you like, 6 weeks to try it out to that first half term. For us to get a feel of how you are as a student, and for you to get a feel of how we are as a department and what life is like coming backwards and forwards to college. Hopefully we'll be back full time by September. And then you can choose. And if you do 1 year with us, so if you did a level 1 with us in the first year, you might get to the end of the first year and go, actually, I really fancy doing this. I've got a real passion for photography or whatever it might be. There's no reason why you can't, once you've done a level 1 with us and we've given you sort of a good recommendation, if you like, or a good reference, there's no reason why you can't go straight into a level 2 course elsewhere within the college, because the vocational courses, they work very similar with the assessment process. Hopefully that answers that question.
So Harry and Kim, I mean, in terms of the course and you kind of, what have you enjoyed about it? What's it given you during this kind of your period studying with us? If I start with Kim.
I definitely learnt the hard way that it was a lot different to high school. But I think I enjoyed learning new skills and progressing with my behaviour and my cooking.
It's given you a lot of discipline, Kim, hasn't it, in terms of it, like you've matured, shall we say, definitely. But it's been a great journey to watch you develop. And how it really has, like when you start, and that's what hospitality does. We give everyone, some students don't necessarily always get that that understanding, and we're really good at making sure and nurturing that we capture you guys and get you invested in what we're doing, and then you naturally want to do better. So yeah, it's been great.
I think one of the key things about college, it's very different environments to school. We are a family, the school hospitality, and you become part of our family in the time that you are here at college. And we look after you, and we want you to progress and do the best you possibly can. But on the back of that, there's also an expectation of, we want you to do the best you can, so you need to put the effort in. So we will treat you maturely, and you'll treat us as friends and colleagues, and we'll do service together and work together. But there is that expectation. So it's a slightly more adult environment, if you like, than school. And we expect we want to sort of work with you rather than be in charge, if that makes sense. And I think that sometimes for students that can take a little while to adjust to that environment, wouldn't you say, Kim?
Okay. All right, Harry, there's a question here which I think do we have to wear a uniform? Harry, can you answer that?
Harry's frozen.
Harry's frozen.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Harry, can you hear me? The question was, do we have to wear a uniform?
Not in class. When we're in the restaurant, yeah, we'll put on like a waistcoat and a tie, and we'll look quite smart. But you have to, because you couldn't just wear, joggers and a t-shirt. Yeah. But no, as far as the like theory side goes, no, it's just whatever really.
So for your practical sessions, a uniform is expected, but when you're doing your theory, so your classroom base, you don't have to. And that's the same for you, Kim?
Yeah, we've got full chef whites and different coloured hats for each level.
Yeah. And do you enjoy wearing your uniform?
Yeah, I think it makes me look quite smart.
It does. Yeah.
I think to start with, it feels a bit weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wandering around in sort of chef whites and things, but with wearing chef whites, there's a certain amount of respect that it commands. When we walk across college campus wearing your whites, people do tend to get out of your way. I don't know whether that's because they just associate us all with Gordon Ramsay and the likes of him, but yeah, I think there's a pride in your appearance, and yes, you would be expected to wear whites in the kitchen. You wouldn't have to wear them on the bus coming in though. Just to state, you bring your kit in, you get changed at college. There's changing rooms, there's lockers for you to put your stuff in, and then you get changed at the end of the session. So when you go home, you're not in your restaurant uniform or your whites.
Yeah. Okay. And there's another question: is there a kit I have to pay for?
Yeah, so most of the kits for all of the courses are around just under £200. Okay, that seems like an awful lot, but actually, if you're going to do level 1, level 2, level 3, that first big batch of kit, if you like, the first time you get your chef's jackets, your safety shoes, your chef trousers, and your knives, you'll only ever be topping up for. So if you bought that all in the first year, the top up for the next year is literally a change of hat and maybe a couple of different coloured knives, and then replacing a jacket if it's I don't know, worn or needs, if you've changed size or whatever for whatever reason, or maybe you've lost one, then you can top up. So yes, initially it seems like an awful lot, but this is kits, knives, uniform and equipment that will last you for years to come.
Yeah. And there's also a bursary assistance available, so if you do have that, we've got that support there to kind of, we can help you through that process. So
yeah, so if your household income is under a certain benchmark, you go onto the West Suffolk College site. There's a button there that says funding or bursary. You click on that, you put your details in, your household income. It will tell you whether you're eligible for bursary. The bursary amount is I believe up to £600, and you can use that towards the purchase of a kit, or you can use that for funding travel backwards and forwards to college.
Yeah, okay. And then this is definitely a question for both students. What has it been like learning online? Harry, do you want to kick off?
It's been very, I guess the term is Marmite. Some people like it, some people don't. I personally don't mind it too much. I think it's quite resourceful. I mean, you just start using what you've got. I do miss being at college. I do prefer being in the classroom, being in the restaurant, but at the minute you just gotta, as I said, work with what you got.
Yeah, you've enjoyed what we've implemented, so we've tried our hardest to try and engage students, so it's not just sitting in front of a screen, and adapting different ways and techniques to make sure that you guys still get that practical experience that we desperately know you want. So and you've enjoyed that part of it, Harry.
Yeah, no, and we do like things like we'll do activities, quizzes, just anything to sort of keep it like interesting.
Yeah. And you, Kim?
I think this round of online learning was definitely better than the last, because we're doing more practical stuff now, and everyone's adapted to it and learned how to do it now.
Yeah, definitely agree. I think we're all much more, we've become experts, shall we say, at the online. When it happened the first time round, everybody was in the same boat as that. We hadn't had to adapt to this new teaching platform, whereas now we've had training, we've just we're putting new measures in place to make sure that you guys are still getting that same level of education that you would if you were in Edmund's restaurant or in the kitchens. Wouldn't you agree, Matt?
Absolutely. I think we've learned an awful lot the first lockdown, first time round. We've, as a corporation, as a college, we've developed some fantastic online learning resources and tools, and I think as a department we've really stepped it up on supporting on the practical side of things. I think we're very good at supporting theory on the first lockdown and delivering online classes, but I think this time around we've got we've got a better balance now, and we're certainly supporting the practical aspect of the courses as well.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I think that's that's been our last question. I'll just double check. Has anyone got any more questions? Oh, okay, here we go. What are the theory lessons? What do you learn in them? So what are the theory lessons?
Ask the students, should we?
Yeah.
Put you on the spot.
Should I start?
Do you want to tell what course you're on, Harry, so they can kind of just relate to what you're studying in case that's the course they're wanting to do?
Yes, I'm doing level 3 professional hospitality provision. So just front of house. I'm not in the kitchen. But, as far as theory work goes, I mean, we learn anything from the legislation in food, like safety and restaurant safety, to what glasses you put beer and wine in. I mean, anything that you will need to know going forward if you're going to go in this industry. That's what we learn.
Yeah. Okay. And Kim?
I obviously just do kitchen, so we mostly learn about the health and safety within a kitchen, food hygiene, different cooking methods of desserts, and loads of different stuff about all different cooking methods.
And you started out doing front of house and kitchen, didn't you, Kim? So, and that's what we're saying. We have these courses designed so you get to try a bit of both areas. If you're not sure, if you haven't discovered whether you want to be front of house or you want to be kitchen, we have courses where you can study both. And then going into your second year, you can choose the pathway that suits you. So if you want to specialise like Kim has in patisserie or just into the kitchen, you can. Okay, and then is there bursaries for travel or kit?
Yes, there are. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that £600 is the ceiling amount that you can get, and then you've got a choice on how you use that. So whether you split it between the kit and the travel, or vice versa, then you have that opportunity. So yes. It's a great question. There's one here. I'm just going to pick it up because I think it's a great question. Do you think the hospitality sector will recover quickly? Will I be able to find a job after? Yeah, I honestly believe that there will be a massive re-emergence. I think what we're seeing now for people that are in the industry already is how the industry is adapting already. People are making home cooking kits. You can literally search the internet and you can get cheese board and wine board delivered to your house. You can have an afternoon tea in a box delivered to your house. So I think we'll see a change in it. I don't think it will go back to completely how it was before, but I think you'll certainly see an adaptation. I think you'll see still the same amount of jobs out there, same amount of employment opportunities. I think the nature might change very slightly, but it will still be working with people and cooking amazing food. So
I'd like to sound that robots can't do front of house, serve and cook, so there's always going to be that need for that service person.
Claire, you've gone on mute.
I think you've muted yourself.
Oh. You're back.
Oh,
you're back with us.
Sorry guys, I don't know where I got to, but I don't know if you heard a bit about the robots, my inspiration.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, there's always going to be a job out there for you. Definitely there'll be a surge. We all want to go out and eat as soon as lockdown's over. So everyone's waiting there. The businesses are still there, and we've still got those connections with them. So yeah, have faith. Definitely, there will be a career for you.
Yeah. I firmly believe that's the case. Yeah. Good stuff. Is there any other questions that we've missed? I'm just going to scan back through.
Yes, there's one about, so what changes have you made in the restaurant since COVID? Harry, do you want to talk about the changes that we implemented in the restaurant?
Yeah, so one of the things we've implemented is serving tables. So we'll have the table that you sit at in the restaurant, and then we'll have a table next to it, which is where we will serve food and drink and clear plates, and we'll put them on that serving table and ask you to take them off the serving table and onto your, and that just sort of makes us sort of distanced from the party.
Yeah, and in terms of the COVID compliance, we've worked really hard to make sure that we're kind of at the top of that. So whatever's happening in the government, whatever the legislation is, we're implementing that in the restaurant to the T. You know, there's no getting around it. We're not deviating from it. We're following it to the letter, and you know, we have the strict kind of, you know, as you enter, there's a sanitisation, there's a checklist that the students are taught, and we have training on that before they then are set out onto the public, shall we say. And we've had quite a lot of our customers who've commented saying how wonderful it is, and they wish that the other restaurants had followed the suit that we'd set. So yeah, it's definitely COVID compliant in Edmonds.
Have a QR code, track and trace, and
yeah,
take everyone's temperature as they come through the door, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there's another question in there. Can I go on to events management from the course? So the course that Harry's doing, that will be accompanied with a certain amount of UCAS points. So yes, there is an option to go on to another level after that. We're currently, previously we've always offered an events management course, and it's something we're looking at maybe starting in September, this September. So if you join us on something like Harry's course this September, by the time that you finish your first year, there'll certainly be something for you to progress on to. So yeah, there's one in the pipeline.
And there is also the opportunity that you can go on a kind of at degree level, and quite a few of our students have finished with us and have progressed into event management. We had 2 students last year that are now doing that. So yeah, definitely the progression.
Good. Is there any more questions? Any more questions, guys? The apprenticeship opportunities. Yeah, so we're closely linked with the apprenticeship team. So sometimes we have students that come in maybe and they get sort of two, 3 weeks into the course and they decide that actually they'd much prefer to be working full time in a kitchen or a restaurant. And then at that point, we'd normally hand them over to the apprenticeship team. If they're already working in an establishment that offers an apprenticeship, then they'll just go through the process of setting that up with your employer. If you've got an interest in apprenticeships and you haven't got a work placement, then again, the apprenticeship team will be able to hopefully find somewhere local to where you're living that you can get backwards and forwards to quite easily and can explore that with you. But yeah, there's both routes available, apprenticeship and full-time. Good question. Thank you for that. Any more questions?
Oh, I think one she's come in.
We'll give you another few seconds to answer any more questions while we're online.
Happy for us. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I think, guys, do you want to just, both Harry and Kim, we're just going to draw to a close now. Do you want to just say one thing that the course has given you this year?
Or you enjoy about college or something like that,
yeah. For me personally, I'd say confidence. I've always had confidence. I've always been quite a confident person, but it still gives you a boost of that because you're dealing with people all the time and you're always talking, always doing something, and so definitely confidence, something you would definitely take away from the course.
Yeah,
good.
I think for me, since level 1, it's always been the pastry side of things. So throughout level 3, I enjoyed just being able to focus on pastry and learning all different methods for cooking, different recipes, different types of bread, all that sort of stuff. I really enjoyed that.
So hopefully we'll be buying Kim's book in the future on cakes and bakes. Should be the next Mary Berry. And on that comment from Harry, just for students to come in with a high level of confidence, yes, we work with confidence, but more importantly, maybe for students that come in with very low confidence or are intimidated, scared about talking to customers, we build that up with you over time. Okay, so as well as looking at your vocational skill, we're very much about the individual as a whole, and making them sort of more able and more confident in what they're able to do. So you'll work with the lecturers, they'll invest their time and energy into you as individuals and work on you as a student as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so thank you very much, Claire, for joining us. Thank you, Kim, and thank you very much, Harry. It's been fun. Cheers, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.